Terrorism stands apart from other forms of violence due to its unique ability to instill an outsized fear of potential harm, despite the actual threat being minimal. Unlike more tangible forms of violence, the likelihood of falling victim to terrorism is exceedingly low. For context, since 1968, international terrorism has claimed fewer than 400 lives annually, and national terrorism accounts for about 2,500 deaths each year since 1998. These numbers pale in comparison to other causes of death. As detailed by mathematician John Allen Paulos in his influential work on innumeracy, The Enumerate Man, the United States sees 40,000 fatalities from traffic accidents, 20,000 from falls, 18,000 from homicides, 3,000 from drownings, including 300 in bathtubs, 3,000 from fires, 24,000 from accidental poisonings, 2,500 from surgical complications, 300 from bed asphyxiation, and 17,000 from other unspecified non-transportation accidents each year. Despite these statistics, as cognitive psychologist Steven Pinker discusses in The Angels Within, terrorist attacks continue to evoke heightened alarm, fueled by intense media coverage and substantial governmental efforts to combat them, especially post 9/11. Striving for zero deaths from terrorism is akin to aiming for zero fatalities from any cause, including peanut allergies, an admirable but ultimately impractical goal. This focus diverts resources and attention away from more pressing issues. Interestingly, efforts to avoid terrorism can inadvertently lead to more harm. Gerd Gidrinzer, a cognitive psychologist, noted that in the year following 9/11, 1,500 Americans died in car accidents because they opted to drive rather than fly, fearing another terrorist incident. The most potent defense against terrorism is not succumbing to its fear. Terrorism thrives on our irrational fears, as highlighted by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's assertion that terrorists can strike anywhere, at any time, with any weapon. This fear-driven power is not new. Over 2,000 years ago, resistance fighters in Judea used similar tactics against Roman occupiers. Moreover, terrorism has consistently failed to achieve its objectives. Despite years of violence, Israel remains. Northern Ireland is still part of the United Kingdom, and the Basque Country has not gained sovereignty. Political scientist Max Abrahms, in his 2006 article Why Terrorism Does Not Work, examined 28 groups labeled as terrorist organizations by the U.S. State Department in 2001, most of which had been active for decades. His conclusion was clear: terrorism seldom accomplishes its goals, and diminishing its impact could be as simple as paying it less heed.